what I like personally about social media is the ability to communicate, to stay in tune with family that
It's
may not
getting
be
serious on
in
this
front of me,
track,
but maybe I can
fam.
communicate, from country to country.
Yeah, I think that social media should also have a label because it is very addictive. And
Yes.
as a parent, again, I know it's not. I'm not saying it's black and white, but you have the responsibility to kind of police that. Welcome to United Podcast Show, episode 25. We're
Yes,
very
Oh,
sir. Yes,
excited.
sir.
We're
25.
very humble to be
Two
here.
five.
Unbelievable, 25.
Yes.
How long ago we started? It was a year ago.
About a
Already?
year ago, yeah.
About a year. So we're up to episode 25. Very humble, very excited to be here. We appreciate the love and the support that you guys have shown us. I am your humble host, Manny Fresh. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna go to the panel real quick, guys. Sandra, introduce yourself.
Yes. So yeah, it's been a tremendous year. We still got a lot to achieve. I just want to drop a little thing that we're going to do in the future for our not potential, but our 1 year anniversary. So look out for that. But yes, Manny, thank you for the introduction. Today's show would be interesting, a little bit serious, but definitely that's what we are about, right? So I'll kick it back to you, Manny. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very good, very good. Chuck, say what's up to the people, man.
Man, shit! I just want to say hello to everybody, man. Just it's been what 2 weeks, and we so anxious. We ready to interact and get put it out there for you guys. So welcome, thank you.
Sounds
Kick
good.
it back,
Yeah, brother. Isn't it funny? It's like almost therapeutic. Obviously, we're doing it for the people, but at the same time, it helps us as individuals, right?
Yeah, man.
It's such a good, humbling feeling to just be able to do this and reach out. Whether we have five people tuning in or we have 500,000, we do it from the heart. Eddie, talk to them, man. Continue that flow.
Oh man, after those two introductions, I don't know what I can say that's new to the people. If you've been following us, you know what we're all about: a lot of love, a lot of peace, and a lot of unity. A lot of family, and just trying to make things happen. But Manny, why don't we just dive in and make it happen? Let's do it.
Yes, sir. So let's go.
Let's go.
Right.
All right, yeah, guys. So basically today we have a topic, and it might be a little not dated, but it's been touched on a few times. But we felt that it's only right that we touch base on it, just so you can hear our point of views, and we definitely would love to hear your point of views. Absolutely. As usual, I'm just going to propose some questions to the guys and pick everybody's brain as far as where they stand. And the topic today is social media. All right, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media, right? Wow. And we could talk on this topic for like hours, but we know we have a time frame. So I'll go through the panel, and I'll make it simple, right? Because again, we could talk a lot about it. So many angles, so many opinions, so many good, so many bad. So, all right, let's get right into it. Eddie, I want to ask you personally, what are the good things that you like social media? Give me like 3 bullet points. Let me know personally 3 things that you like personally about social media.
Well, man, that's a great question. What I like personally about social media is the ability to communicate, to stay in tune with family that may not be in front of me, but maybe I can communicate, from country to country. Another positive thing that I like about social media is the ability to get information from different platforms, right? And also the ability for me to communicate my thoughts and give out to the world anything that can make the world better. Such as what we're doing here. Like the United Podcast is all about that, right? We're all about trying to reach out to other people. This is one website, this is one platform, this is one, one group that's trying to make things better. And so that's what I would definitely
say. No, that's great, man.
Yeah.
So basically it gives you a microphone to the world, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Right? Yep. You think back 100 years ago, this is like wizardry, right? And they was
yes, right.
It's unbelievable, man.
Yep.
So all right, let me keep it moving. Brother Ray, what do you think about social media? What are the
So Eddie gave some great examples, and I just want to just kind of give a little bit more in depth into what social media really is. Again, it's the ability to have access to information on any platform, and anybody could have that information. It could come from, financial institutions. It could be from a small business that just trying to understand exactly the level of service that they have. So
Yeah.
it's a tool that enables them to reach out to the community and engage. Right
Gotcha.
now,
Okay.
for the most part, everybody thinks about social media about Facebook, Twitter, which again are all tools to enable conversation, right? But at the
Right.
same time, it's a two-way platform. You could drop conversation, you can also seek conversation. So we're not going to try and say this is just a Facebook thing, Instagram thing, a TikTok thing. It's just
Specific.
the ability to be able to reach out to a mass population, right? Okay.
That's a
So
great.
with
That's a
that
great
said,
point, Ray. Yep,
with
yep.
that said, what
Thank
I
you.
like,
Thank you for
absolutely, absolutely. So what I like about the social media aspect is just that, right? So, you have, access to information where whether if you like something like, hey, I don't know how to fix this. You go on social media, you're going to have access to many different solutions and
Yep.
people that will give you, go to this guy, do it this way, don't do it that way. So again, so whereas before you had Britannica Encyclopedia, you you have to go through certain pages,
That's right. That's right.
So
And
social
it's
media,
helped me too. So
yeah,
helped
it's like
me.
a
So
shortcut to
yeah.
information, right?
Yeah.
At your fingertips, right? And
Mhm.
then again, the other fact of being able to reach out to, there's no limits here, right? You could see what's happening in Bora Bora or what's happening in South Africa or right here in the backyard, right? So that's the aspect of social media that I like. And then again, applications that makes it very convenient for you. I want to check on my bank account, I want to do this, all of this stuff. It does have that aspect of social media because again, it's your ability to have the portability of information at your fingertips. So access to information, learn, ability to learn, and ability to share.
All right, Ray, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Great question and great
You're
points,
welcome.
man. Thank you, man. Let's keep it moving. Chuck, give me your insight. Give me the things that you like about social media. If you could do three, that'd be great. And then we'll keep going.
First of all, I think the whole connectivity thing, man, it's been just awesome for me because just knowing that I'm 3,000 miles away from my family, that helps me, connect it, keep me connected. It's like I don't do the Facebook, but I do Instagram. So just and now because we have the whole podcasting, man, it's like,
Yes, sir.
well, look, we man, it's a platform that we're trying to get recognized. And brother Ray and brother Manny's like, TikTok and just all the different social platforms, man. It's like to get us recognized. So it's like that, and just other than that, man.
That's one of the main points that you like. Yeah.
Right, man. It's like those are the good points. It's like everything else is just tip,
Yeah, yeah.
the
No,
good
thank you
points.
for that.
Yeah.
Everybody
Because
says
we're
I
getting
hope-
recognized. It's just the recognitions on what we're doing now. So
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah, good point, man. Thank you, Chuck. That's man, you guys pretty much hit it on the head. For me, I think that the fact that we can connect, overseas, next door, a state away, you can send a message, you can check on your loved ones to some extent, right? That's unbelievable. It's almost like magic to me. And also the fact that you have so much information available.
I'm sorry when you said to some extent, man. No, social media you can check on them at any extent. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
look,
But what I'm saying is when you check on a loved one, you're gonna see what they're sharing with you. But and when I say extent, you really don't know what they're going through because they can show you a picture of the park where they're having a great time, and that's what I mean. And that's why.
Okay.
So social media. So anyway, let me go back. I lost track. But basically, I think the fact that you can connect with your loved ones, the fact that you have information and you can, for the most part, know what's going on, right? With news and things like that. I would advise to screen your information regardless. And then finally, the fact that you can actually make money. You can make so much money with social media. It's unbelievable, man. That's the other part of it, and I don't want to go into every one because I don't want to hog the mic, but those are the things that I like personally. Excuse me. Let's keep going because I want to swing it back. So now let's talk about the bad, right? This is the dark side of it, right? Right? Right. Scratch that. So now let's talk about the bad. This is the dark side of it. This is what a lot of people, have problems with. It gets really serious, really, really, really quick. There's challenges. There's been murders. There's been, bullying. It's a lot of bad
Correct.
things. So let me see. Ray, can you go first on the bad?
Sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to go first because we all have kids and we all see the impact of what social media does to them in terms of just the amount of information that we talked about information. So there's good information, bad information, right? And it's making it harder and harder now to make a real differentiation between what's good and what's bad, right? With the advance of technology and everything else. So it's causing a lot of mistrust in the information if you don't know exactly what you're looking for. If you go in there looking for what you want to what you need, like information for learning, great. But it's just you're just being fed information and it's constant, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's hard to shut it off. So you get to a point where it's definitely addictive, right? And if you don't have that control and you just get bombarded with information,
Mhm.
and then there'll be a certain tipping point where you're like, okay, I don't know if this is real or not. I'll just take it as for what it is. And
Yeah.
it had a great impact on the recent election. The mixture of reality versus fake news versus all of that
Yeah.
stuff. So, and unfortunately, we don't have any types of rules or regulations that are hard enough to basically say, beware of this type of information coming from this source because we know for a fact that this information is completely wrong. We
Correct.
don't have that policing methodology, or we don't, or there's the reason why there isn't because it's maybe by design,
Correct.
right? So there's an abundance of information where for the mature brain can be able to say, okay, this is fake, this is not fake, this is
Right.
so. And on top of that, so we also talked about it's reaching a wide audience. Unfortunately, our audience could be from a 3-year-old to 80-year-old, right?
Mhm.
And it's just a bombardment of information, and that's my biggest fear on the type of information that's there, because you don't really know if it's real or not nowadays. Even myself, I
Yeah.
always second guess the information that's coming through. I
Yeah.
don't take it for what it is. If I got to second guess myself, second guess information, how are the other people doing it? That's the other thing,
And
right?
you're a grown man. Imagine that, right? You're knowledgeable and you're in the IT field. So
It
if
is
you got a
scary.
question, then we should all be questioning ourselves.
It really is
So
scary. It really
it
is
really is,
scary.
man.
It really is scary.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
great
yeah.
point.
And the
Yeah.
fact that, yeah, let me keep it moving. I want to touch my, speak my piece. But Eddie, what do you think? Talk to me.
Um, I think Ray, you brought up some amazing points, and I just want to add maybe a little something to it. You know, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that prey on social media, and there's a lot of hackers, and people will steal your identities, and it's simple to do that when people know how to do that, right? Uh, there's also, especially with our youth, uh, there's ways of shaping their mind to what they think things are supposed to be like. Just like any media, whether it's a television, whether it's any of those social medias, um, and everyone should be accepted. So when you see things, sometimes what you see, exactly what you said, right? What you see is not really what is happening on the other side, but they portray it that way. Now
Correct.
there's
Yep.
apps where you can act like you're someone else. Like, what is it called, Ray?
Deep
Is it
fake.
yeah, deep fake. I mean, you can literally be someone else and impersonate another person. Those are
Yeah.
things that can harm people, because if you believe in a person and what they believe in, and you see a person who's
Mhm.
who's, I don't know how you would say it, I guess, who some would use an application to become a deep fake kind of where they use an
Yeah.
application to make to use a profile to say
Yeah.
something, then this is what they believe. And unfortunately, it's easy to believe what you see on the screen, just like
Right.
the news,
That's
just like
true.
a movie, just like anything. And this could hurt people, and this could hurt.
100%.
Yeah.
And
So
it does touch home. But Chuck, what about you? But talk to me. Share with the people. What do you think is the bad thing, the dark side of social media?
Man, just the bullying, man. Um, People are mean. People don't realize, well, people don't think before they speak. They just speak but they don't realize what they say is like words hurt. So it's like
Mhm.
Yeah,
you actually have to realize you can't just be in your thoughts and say something, because guess what? That whatever you're speaking about is kind of, it's hurtful, or
yeah,
it may not, everybody can resonate with it. So it's like, just be conscious of what you say, what you post, what you put out there, because it could be a bad energy, it could be a good energy, or it could be an energy that you can never take back. And
correct.
Right.
you know what I mean? So it's like, so just be conscious of what you put out there, because
Yeah,
look, it's not a certain community is not watching, everybody's watching, and
yeah,
everybody takes that whole content that you put out to heart. So just be
yeah,
conscious. And I mean, listen, look around of who, look around your surroundings. It's like, because whoever's around you may be part of that sensitivity,
correct,
and you
correct. Good
never know
point.
that.
That's
You
Thank you,
never
great.
Chuck.
know
That's
that.
great.
You
Yeah,
never know that. So just,
yeah,
be conscious of what you do, what you say, who's around you, and just take that, man. Just,
yeah, man. No, no,
that's
Yeah.
it.
great
It's
point,
like,
Chuck.
don't, I mean, don't,
Mhm.
you know,
Hey, Manny,
Just be conscious before you do it.
yeah,
Yeah, go
be,
ahead. Right?
Manny. There are two things that Brother Eddie said that I want to just touch upon a little bit more,
Yeah,
because
of course.
it they may, although they may seem very innocent in terms of the social media aspect, it has a great impact on how people are being perceived on that platform. So there's this thing called the metrics, right? Metrics, performance and everything else, right? Facebook, how many likes I get, you know, YouTube, how many subscribers I got, how many followers I
Correct.
got,
That's
TikTok,
right.
how many, and these little things, right? Which is a simple algorithm, right? In the code,
Mm-hmm.
but has a great psychological impact on the person, right?
Yes.
And these are the things that, oh my God, I only get 2 likes. What does that mean? Nobody likes me,
Yeah.
right?
Self-esteem.
So
Yep.
there's all of that stuff that slowly
Yeah.
like has having an
Oh,
impact on our younger
impact, of course.
generation, right? That is just creating this other factor that you got to be rated on,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
approved. And
Yes.
these are the things that you're,
Accept it. Yeah.
and
Right.
unfortunately for the folks that are creating this, that are creating these algorithms and everything else,
Yeah.
it's actually generating a lot more, you know attraction to the product, right? On
A new
TikTok.
form of how to make friends without being in person.
Exactly.
That's
Like,
terrible.
exactly. So that's that one portion that Eddie talked about. The other
Yeah.
one, and which is more critical to me personally, and I would like to highlight that, is the fact that, Eddie, you mentioned they're shaping our minds to think all alike.
Definitely.
So if you
That's right.
look at TikTok, if you look at all these challenges, yes, they're fun, but in the background, you're basically pulling everybody under one particular idea, right? They have the parents challenge. Some of them also challenging the normal structure of a family. You got, you pulling a prank on, on your father or your father. These are all the things that they're doing to get what? To get more viewership, to get more likes. But at the end of the day, you don't know the impact or damage that you may be causing just because
Mhm.
you want to get, +1, +2, +1,000 on your TikTok, but at the end of the day, you might be disrespecting your mother or your father or your sister,
Yeah. That's
and
right.
you put that
That's
on
right.
video.
Guys, you guys make great points. I appreciate that. I want to speak my piece as far as the negative part, the negative aspect of social media. Personally, for me, I think, well, if I can just backtrack, right? One of the biggest things that we have as human beings is we all want to be accepted. We want to belong to a group. So Mr. Zuckerberg and everybody, we want to belong, right? So that's why we constantly look for that like and that extra, right? Because back in the days, like way back, 100,000 years ago, if you weren't with a group, you were gonna die, right? So you had to survive. So you have to be accepted into a group, right? So we had to be with a group. That's why to this day we like when people accept us, or we are on social media and we have 100 likes and followers. At the core, that's what it is. We want to be part of something. If you're the oddball out, then you're gonna die. Right? That's the mentality back in the days. But anyway, I want to just put that out there. With that being said, whether it was intentional or not, the folks, as like Mr. Zuckerberg, Facebook, and all those groups, and I'm not pointing them out. I'm just saying they're banking on the fact that they know that we want to belong. Okay, and this is the bad part. I'm not saying that was their intention, but the bad part is that we have what's called FOMO, right? FOMO is fear of missing out. So that's something that we're constantly. The reason you pick up your phone is because, let me check my WhatsApp. Let me see what's going on Facebook. Let me see right? Because we're afraid that we're going to miss out on certain things. So that's a huge aspect of, I don't know if it's the negative part of social media or if it's embedded in us. I don't know where the connection is, but it's a bad thing that we have to depend on social media to satisfy that hunger, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Part two would be for me is like, I don't know if you guys seen a show on Netflix, The Social Dilemma. The other part that I don't like, it's a great show if you guys get a chance to see it. The Social Dilemma pretty much highlights everything as far as being controlled. Right now, they're saying that information is worth more than gold. Okay, so if you know my next move, if you know what I'm looking at, you can control me. And that's big.
Everybody's putting everything there. Everybody's putting their shit out there.
Big power players behind the scenes that they buy by bulk information on each and every one of us. What are our habits? Where do we go? Shopping. Anyway, so that's what I don't like, the control aspect and making the decisions for me ahead of time. Before I summarize what I didn't like, I just want to say that, and I know it's not easy. It's not an easy task to do, but just like alcohol, there's a label on it. Just like tobacco, there's a label on it. I think that social media should also have a label because it is very addictive. And as a parent, again, I know I'm not saying it's black and white, but you have the responsibility to kind of police that. Yeah. You have it. I know it's not easy, but remember.
I believe that. I truly believe that.
I truly believe it. Some way, somehow. Even if you're sitting with your kid while they're on it, tell them, you can go crazy looking at stuff, but I'm next to you. And then just give them some kind of structure, if that helps any. But anyway, that's a little bad.
But that's through anything. It's not just social media, but it's structure. Just
right.
We're talking about social media, but that's the biggest part because they can go wild, they can go nuts, and they will lose all content of what we're
man, you got kids killing themselves, man. You got kids bullying. And the other part is that social media gives a microphone to everybody. Do you give a mic to 7 billion people? You give a mic to 7 billion plus people in the world,
but
through social media, for the good or the bad.
So that's the thing I want to, and I'm glad you brought up that show from Netflix, right? Because there's some organization out there that are talking about the real dangers of not policing or regulating, this constant flow of information, right? Because like I said, and Eddie touched on this, it is shaping our minds, right? To the benefit of these huge social media giants, because they're taking information and they're making it available to others.
Selling it, yeah.
Now, there's some aspects of that because, on the technical aspect of it is actually pushing technology, right? Advancing technology, because they have to be able to have, you want the information right away, right? So there's this huge computing power that's running behind that. If you look at the infrastructure of Facebook, if you look at the infrastructure of Google, if you look at the infrastructure of WhatsApp, these are not one or two servers. These are huge infrastructures. Because simple example, when you go to WhatsApp, right? When you type in a message, those 3 little blinking points letting you know that he's responding. That's an algorithm, and that's a computing thing. So on the other side, there's some brains behind being able to do that.
Oh, 100%.
They're seeing every response. They're seeing everything. They see everything we do.
Hold on, but there isn't any federal or state or any type of regulatory body that says stop it. Social media should start from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. as an example. When we were
Right.
kids, TV didn't cut on for me. My
Right,
TV
right.
didn't cut on until 4 p.m., right? And it ended at 10 p.m. So about 6 hours.
At least
The
you had
rest,
a TV.
the rest of the time, it was interacting with family, friends, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But now it's 24/7. But my point is this, right? So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is that that show also brought up the fact that they need to have some more advancement in understanding the actual impact, so the bullying and everything else, and have
Yep.
some regulations around that. Because right now it's more on the economical benefits that we could get from that, but there's so many social and psychological impact that nobody's really, they're talking about it, but I don't see any regulations and laws about that.
Yeah.
See, with that,
And it's
with
funny you
that
say
know,
that, right?
I-
Because when we had Zuckerberg, Eddie, one second, we had Zuckerberg go to the Senate in the Senate, was it?
Yeah.
And he was running circles around these older gentlemen. It was almost funny to see this guy. They were asking him questions that they really didn't know what they were asking. All right, so I'm gonna keep it going. Let me ask you a question, guys, and anybody can jump in. I want to ask, give me an example. All right, it could either be a way that social media has helped you or hurt you in any way. So anybody that wants to take that one, you can go ahead.
So I'm gonna tell you right now, it's like that Facebook market, man. It's helped me to
Yeah,
you know
I love that thing.
around the spot around the house. It's like we got
Yeah.
some brand new stuff that at some great prices. And
What's your
I
address
guarantee-
again?
I guarantee everybody hit Facebook Market if you really
Yeah.
want some stuff to enhance your property and advance
Yeah.
your home and anything.
Yeah, I agree, Chuck. I
Other
saw
than
many.
that, look, other than that, then I mean, social media is like it is what it is.
But it helps you because you use Facebook Market. What about you,
Yes.
Eddie? What about how's that have you hurt you?
You know what? I can go either way, but I kind of just want to mention something that I didn't mention earlier, and I think is a key point. Because of social media, it allows, black and brown people to expose what has been happening to us for years. Whether it's injustice, whether it's racism, whether it's the cops doing, injustices to our people. Um, it's giving us a voice and is making us stronger. And
Yep.
maybe not today and maybe not tomorrow, but in 50 years from now, maybe hopefully things change and people realize that we are all equal. Uh, it's helped our people a little bit more. So I would say that to that extent, um, that's a plus to us as a whole. So that's my point. Yeah.
But how has it helped you or hurt you?
Well, it helps me because I think there's more acceptance in my everyday life. There's people that are realizing, wow, because there are people. Not everybody is a bad person, but we only know what we see, and if what we see is always negative, like me, I'm a Dominican man, and maybe people have a certain perception of what a Dominican man is. But if we were, if we have the ability to express ourselves and show that we're more than what the media portrays us to be,
True.
then it allows me and
Stereotype.
it opens up the world a little bit more for me, and it gives me more opportunities, not only me but my family and our people. And at the end of the day, we're all the same. It's not about black, white, Asian. It's about humanity. It's all about earth. It's all
Man,
about earthlings.
that's
And I
what it
think
is,
that
man.
and I think it's a plus to the world when we expose the negative that's happening out there, so we can become better and a little bit more united as a family and as a whole, as the human race. And that's how it's
Wow.
affected me. Yes.
Eddie, 2024. I'm telling you, man. I love it. All right, Sandra, let me hear from you, bud. I know you got a lot to say. Talk to me.
No, I think this is a great question, and I'm gonna stick back. I'm gonna stick to the core of the question. How has it helped me?
Or hurt you.
Um,
Which one? Check.
hurt me. Okay, hurt me. No, because I know how to control it.
There you go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Now help me. So I've shared a lot of videos with you guys about all these crazy videos. It brings joy to be able to see this funny Indian action movies, or be able to
Bollywood.
be able to replay the funny skits from the Steve Harvey shows and all that
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
At the end of the day, right? The world is we're all doing our things, and then there's some serious moments in our lives where we need to be able to step back and have like a moment where you could just enjoy, because that's just going to I think to me it's going to rejuvenate our soul at that moment. So being able to go online and look at these funny videos, whether it be from African action movies to Bollywood movies to Steve Harvey's funniest videos to all these comedians bloopers and everything else, that aspect, to be able to just say, you know what, I want to, I just want to do that.
Yeah.
um
I agree.
Amazing, because, and actually it forced me to watch some of these movies. Actually, I've seen some of these Indian movies, like, oh man, this is actually funny, I want to see more. I've seen this. I'm gonna throw a little plug for one of my African movies, Who Killed Captain Alex.
We
So
saw that one.
yeah,
We saw that. Yeah, we saw that
can
one.
can I say something? Can I say something though? Because
Of course, go ahead.
we have failed to like plug our show, right? Because I think we've like put a little content out there to where we've like reached out to people and kind of touched people. You know what I mean? Same thing as you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I think we've just as when we started like June, when this whole pandemic thing was like kicked us off, and we listen, we came up with something, and we never thought that it would like explode like this bit. And when I say explodes, like we start off to where we have my 49er flag in the back, right? But now, man, we got backgrounds. We got major backgrounds. Man, my brother Ray's got it on Stitcher app. We're on so many different platforms to the point where
Yeah.
we got to talk
That's a
about
great
ourselves
point.
because we've done so much to. I think that can inspire people to do the same thing,
Yep.
move forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree,
From
Chuck.
their,
Yeah.
move from their, their priors. Like make yourself uncomfortable, like you said,
Yeah.
man.
Yes,
It's like
sir.
you kind of get that, and
Yeah.
you push people to
Yeah.
do something different. And this is
Yeah.
different for us because guess what? Look at us now. How many episodes do we have out now versus
25,
June
baby.
25.
25.
25 versus
Fire.
June 10th, 2020, when we were in this whole thing when it started. It's like, man, we kicked off something nice to where, man, our platform is like it kicks our voice off, and it makes us that we got bloopers that y'all just ain't ready for, but
Yeah,
we gonna
yeah.
y'all
That's
We're
it.
gonna do
see
something. We're
something.
gonna do something. We're gonna do something.
Thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that, man.
But-
Listen, as
yeah,
you can see,
but-
Chuck, brother Chuck
Yeah,
is
man.
definitely passionate,
Listen,
and
man,
he's definitely
it's-
he's excited as we all are. And Ray, thank you for sharing that as well. I think that social media it's a good tool, but like I always say, you have to be responsible, right?
Use it
Like anything
correctly.
else in life. But you have to be responsible. Remember, if you slow down responsible, you're able to respond to a situation. So if you have social media, just be mature enough or responsible or disciplined, right? Enough to say, enough, right? You have couples now going to bed and both couples are looking the other way on social media. You have 5 kids in the house, they don't talk to each other, right? You have people in the business industry, they'd rather be on the phone than actually working. You know what I'm saying? So just be responsible, enjoy it, but just keep in the back of the mind, in your back of your mind that it's a dopamine hit every time you go on it. So whether you're laughing or you're getting information, yeah, man, no, it's powerful. So just like anything else, respect it, right? Like alcohol, tobacco, whatever it is, a drug, just respect it, right?
Moderation.
But with that
Moderation.
yes, sir. With that being said, before we close out, I'm gonna ask you guys, what would be an advice that you would give someone that's addicted, right? I know people that are addicted to social media. What would you say to someone that's addicted to social media so they could come out of that hole, right? What would you say?
Slow down, man. Just slow down, kind of think, just kind of look around you and make sure that your surroundings are good and that's not what you're relying on. Let that be the last choice, the last motion, the last thing that you reach for. Look out to family, friends, and other things. You social media it's a platform that you could just kind of throw out there, but you also want to keep in mind that you want to be in physical touch.
Correct.
Text messaging, stop doing it. Pick up the phone and call somebody and keep that physical touch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hear
So it's
somebody's
like
voice, yeah. Mhm.
yeah, man, because if you lose that, then this social media thing won't work for you because you don't understand that that's just a platform for you to just send a message.
Yeah, it's almost
How
virtual,
personal,
yeah.
man, how personal do you want to be? You want to always be personal with family, friends, anybody that you come in contact with. Say hello.
Mhm.
Don't say hello through a
Yeah,
text.
correct.
You want that first contact to be for them to see your face and go, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yes, sir.
And then
I
if they
agree with
see
you,
that
sir.
text later, if they see that text later, be like, they still see your smile. They still see that enthusiasm.
Mhm.
They still see that energy that you bring, right?
Yes, sir.
Versus over a text, hey,
Yep, good point. Eddie, what about you? But what would you tell someone? Thank you for that, Chuck. What would you tell
Um,
someone that's addicted to social media?
um, Yo, Chuck, I think what you just said was just amazing and it's true because that becomes the realness of a person, right? And that
Yeah.
allows me to answer my way. And just add on to what you're saying because I totally agree with what you're saying. Um, two things, right? Always have knowledge of self and what you believe in and what your fundamentals are based on just being a good person. Always think about what is your purpose. What is that we're doing here? Remember, we're physical form, right? I'm not going to take this to a long I'm not going to speak long, but what I do want to say is this. Always think about what is it that you're doing here in physical form on this earth and
yep.
try to be a better person. And
Mhm.
anything that you see on social media, always do your due diligence and research. The ability of us having this internet in front of us and cross-reference information is
You
right in our
first.
hands.
You
Don't just
first.
listen to one person because it sounds good or because they're attractive or because this is what you think you want to look like or this is what, but do your due diligence and everybody's just as important as the next. Don't let the social media tell you who you are. Always understand who you are and
Or
and
who
and
you are
don't
now, right?
and
You
use it
first.
as a,
You first.
just like a book, use it as a tool. If
Yep.
you can use it and it helps you become a better person and it helps you
Mhm.
progress and you know use it that way, but always understand that that's just another way of us communicating, but always have control in what you do and how you use whatever you use, right? Just like you were saying, Manny, right? Everything in moderation and everything in control, and don't let one thing just influence the way you are because you are you. At the end of the day, your decisions and what you do is based on everything that you intake, right? Whether it's
Mhm.
social media, whether it's people that you see walking the street, whether it's school, whether it's a book, whether it's your friends, your family, so
Mhm.
don't
So,
just
you,
go
but
too overboard.
so you're saying, obviously, and that's awesome, Eddie. Great stuff. But you were saying to put the phone down, put the computer away, to
It's just a tool. If you can use and this is where I'm going a little bit into the internet, but through the internet is where we get social media. Use it as a tool to better yourself. If it's negative, then you don't want to pay attention to a lot of those sites, right? If it's something that you can do, if it's something that you can view, for example, like I've seen TikTok videos that actually allow me to kind of cross-reference more information, whether it's about stocks, whether it's about whatever it may be, right? I mentioned earlier how because of these videos, we're becoming a little bit more, there's more exposure to the injustices that are going on out there. Well, then use that to become part of a group that fights the injustices. I don't want to mention any particular group, but I think you know where I'm going. And just be a good person. My thing is just always be a good person.
yeah.
And if you can use it to your advantage, then do that. And if it's something that's
Be
going to hinder you or hinder your
But
people, then don't.
right.
be
Mhm.
But Eddie,
yourself first. Be yourself
yeah,
first.
yes, sir. I agree. But if I'm addicted to social media, tell me what I need to do.
Yeah,
How
that's
can
so.
how can you help me?
So,
Just
so
like any, I'm sorry. And I don't know if that, because I think maybe I'm deterring a little bit. And I know this is like our
Mhm.
end of our session and I kind of wanted to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
there. But anything
yeah.
that you're addicted to is anything that's controlling you.
Okay,
The only thing that controls you is your mind. The
okay.
only thing that controls you is your mind and what you want to do, whether it's a drug or whether it's social media or whether it's basketball, whatever it may be. Always have control in what you're doing, and
You are
moderate.
you are your control.
You are your control. So don't
You are
let
your
something
control.
Yeah, but
overpower your mind and control the way you are.
yeah.
Bottom line.
Right, but
So
tell me
so
again. I'm
so
gonna ask you
yeah,
one more. Maybe Ray. Go ahead.
yeah,
Ray.
I want to jump in because Manny, that's a very difficult question you're asking, right? It's because like somebody that's addicted, right? So the different levels of addiction and there are different symptoms of how these addiction is impacting people, right? So um you know we talked about the good of social media. Like if you're looking at information that can feed you and make you grow, then yeah, and I have access to that freely. Yes, I want to keep learning more and more and more and more. It all becomes to the perception of the other person. If you see me on my phone all the time, you don't really know what I'm doing until I actually tell you, oh, I'm looking at stocks, I'm looking at this, blah, 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 right? And then on the other side is if I'm just looking at TikTok videos or blah, 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 it's I I find it difficult to talk about the addiction of social media because it's too new, right? I think it's new to the fact that because we went from it became available on mobile very recently, not 20 years ago, very recently, as the phone technology started becoming more and more portable, and you have the ability to have all these applications being portable, right?
Right.
So it's still, and when I say new, I'm not talking about, in the grand scheme of things, it's not 50 years that we've had, you know,
Right.
we've in the last decade or so. It's just, and then the thing is, and the impact is we went here and then jumped up, right? Tremendously. We have kids nowadays, the only thing they know is iPads, iPhones, and everything else. So we still have to study that, right? So to say to somebody that's, to see if you could talk to somebody who's addicted on social media, yes, you could see, looking at TikTok videos and everything else. Me personally, what I started doing is just put a timeline. Yes, I want to look at these videos, and then at the same time, yes, there's other things that I would like to do, right? So you have to be able to see how that fits in your overall
Okay.
lifestyle, right?
That's what I'm
Don't
looking. Right.
To me is don't if it start ruling your entire lifestyle where you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is look at your phone. Yeah, I look at my phone sometimes early
But
in the
that's what's
morning.
happening.
Hold
But
on, hold
that's
on.
what's happening.
I look at my phone, but I look at my phone for, okay, did I get an email about my account or my stuff?
Right.
Then I look at news and stuff like that. Then I put it down. But there's some situations where if it's just like a Facebook addiction, which is completely different.
Right.
So all I'm trying to say is I think it's still new to kind of try and dissect the fact of addiction, because there's so many different things that you could do. But definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
and I appreciate that, Ray. But I'm not looking for a black and white answer. All I'm saying is I get the whole, stocks and your I get it. The phone is a computer. We call it a phone, but it's a computer. What I'm alluding to is someone on Instagram, social media, TikTok specifically.
Our kids.
What's
Our
the other
kids.
one?
Let's be real. Our kids.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of adults.
finish.
Thank you. There's a lot of adults that are, it's not just kids. There's a lot of grown-ups, and that if you're not careful, you could be addicted. I know some grown-ups that are on the phone for a nice amount of time. And I'm not debating. You're right. It's fairly new. I don't think we were ready for this, so fast.
Exponential growth.
Yeah, 100%. So, but what I'm saying is, as basic as I can ask is someone that's on the main ones, on the Facebook, right? Facebook has 2.80 billion subscribers. Someone that's constantly on the Facebooks, right? And now our older folks are getting hip to Facebook. Now they're like, you have 50 and 70-year-olds all day on Facebook, just swiping. That's what I'm saying. If you can tell someone, you don't have to be a professional. Like if you, okay, let me make it better. What's my answer? I don't have one. I don't know how to tell you stop. What you said earlier, Ray, is great. The only thing I can say is put a time frame. But it's so simple to pick up a phone and swipe for feeding the mind. Whether it's right or wrong, whether it's true or false, we don't know. But it's information. Right?
But you know what, Manny? But I think Ray mentioned something that was very, very important. He said, balance your life. He said, "Are there other things that you are interested in? Do you like sports? Go play a basketball game. You know,
That's what I'm looking for.
divvy up your time. Don't let something control you to the point where
Mhm.
you're just so invested. If 24 hours of the day that you're awake is, I don't know, 17 hours, and out of those 17 hours, you're on a phone for 8 hours. That's too much because it's controlling your mind. This is where you have to get some, you have to soul search a little bit. And I think, people touch here and there. I don't think there's an exact answer for these things, but
Yeah.
anything that controls you is not good, right?
But guess
Anything that
what?
controls you, right? And I say
With
control
your-
because if you just automatically go to something involuntarily, then there's a problem.
All right, guys, another show, another great episode. I appreciate all of you and all of our followers. Tune in for episode 26 coming up, which is, as usual, going to be live. Guys, you want to say anything before we cut off?
Yes, I want to say this has been a hell of a year for us, and then we have
Yes, man.
something that's going to come up for you guys. Please, we're going to be planning it. It's going to be something to mark our major milestone in our first year in this whole platform. Very so look out for it. So definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Brother Ray. Again, appreciate all of you. Let's do it again. United Podcast.
UPC.
Let's do this, guys.
Knowledge with no
Yeah,
borders.
Knowledge
Knowledge
with
with
no borders.
no borders, man.
Please leave your comments. I know we said a lot today, and I'm sure that there's things that you agree with.
Social media.
Please let us know. Social
The
media. Here we
good,
go.
the bad, and the ugly. You know what
Let
We're
me
the good
see you
ones.
do that dance.
you know what it means to you.
But we're the good ones, right? So we want to
Absolutely.
go ahead and
Thank
we
you,
want to
guys.
expose and help out.
Appreciate
So
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Oh, and by the way, this episode has been brought to you by Manny Knows Homes, Manny's Real Estate, MannyKnowsHomes.com. Look out for it.
If
Appreciate
you
you
need
guys.
if you need your home sold, Manny knows.